This is static after midnight. Old signals, fading memories, stories meant for the quiet hours and for the moments just before sleep. The hour is late now, later than most people ever notice. Your room has grown heavier with shadow, the kind that settles slowly into corners and under furniture. The edges of everything blur just a little more each minute, until the familiar feels slightly unfamiliar. If your eyes are still open, let them drift closed slowly. No need to force anything. No need to hurry at all. Tonight's story came from someone who reached out in a single quiet message. No name, no follow-up, just the words and a plea to stay nameless. They said it began as the faintest whisper, easy to dismiss as a tired mind playing tricks, until it grew closer, until it knew them in ways no one should, until it simply waited patient for the moment they were ready to really hear. Turn down the lights if you haven't already. Breathe slow. In, deeper than usual. Hold for a moment. Now out. Longer. Let the air leave you completely. Let the rain fill the spaces between words. Let the rain become the only thing moving. Listen as the walls begin to speak. The apartment was never quiet in the way new places pretend to be. It was old quiet, the kind that has had decades to sink into plaster and wood and floorboards. Third floor, corner unit, windows facing a narrow alley where the street lights never quite reach the pavement below. Same key in the lock every evening. Same soft metallic click. Same faint smell drifting up the stairwell. Old carpet mixed with someone else's dinner cooking 2 floors down. I'd step inside, kick off my shoes by the door, hang my coat on the hook that had started to pull away from the wall a little more each month. And sometimes, just for a second, I'd hear it, my own voice. Not loud, not even distinct at first. A murmur coming from somewhere deep inside the wall beside the entryway, like someone standing in the next room, repeating a thought I just had in my head, word for word, tone for tone. I'd freeze mid-step, listen harder than I wanted to. The sound would fade before I could place it exactly. Just the hum of the fridge kicking on in the kitchen. The slow drip from the faucet I kept promising myself I'd fix one weekend. The low rumble of traffic on the street below, filtering through the glass. I'd shake my head once, small, dismissive, tired brain, long day, nothing more. I'd walk to the kitchen, pour water into a glass, drink it standing at the sink, tell myself I was imagining things the way tired people do. But the next night, it happened again. Same moment, same place. Same soft echo of my own voice saying something I hadn't spoken aloud. You're home now. Finally, exactly the way I always thought it to myself, when the door closed behind me, relieved, a little empty, familiar, I stood there longer that time, hand still on the light switch, listened until my ears rang faintly. Nothing. Only the rain starting outside, tapping unevenly against the glass like hesitant fingers. I turned on every light in the apartment that night, left them burning until the sky started to lighten gray through the blinds. The third time it happened, I tried to catch it on purpose. I came home, deliberately quiet, didn't flip the hall light, didn't speak a single word, just stood inside the doorway, coat still on, shoes still on, breathing shallow and careful, waited. The building settled around me, old beams creaking once, twice. Distant voices from another floor muffled through layers of floor and ceiling. Then, from the wall to my left, barely louder than my own pulse, "You're trying to be quiet tonight. That's new." My exact cadence. My small sigh at the end. I stepped closer to the wall, pressed my ear against the cool plaster, felt the faint vibration of pipes somewhere behind it, or something else. Listened until the silence hurt. The voice didn't speak again, but I could feel it there, waiting, as though it had all the time in the world and nowhere else to be. I backed away slowly, told myself it was exhaustion playing tricks. Carbon monoxide leak, maybe. Mold in the walls affecting my head. I opened windows, even though it was cold. Let the rain air in. Sat on the couch with every lamp blazing. Didn't sleep until the sky turned pale. The fourth time. It wasn't just an echo anymore. It was patient. I walked in, hung the coat, and before my hand left the fabric, the wall murmured, "Long day again. You always come home tired on Thursdays." I hadn't realized it was Thursday until that moment. Hadn't thought the words consciously, but the voice had. It spoke them in the same weary tone I used when I talked to myself in the mirror some nights. I didn't move. Didn't breathe for several long seconds. The rain outside picked up. Steady now, drumming on the metal awning below my window. I whispered back, barely audible even to myself, "Stop it!" No answer, just the rain and the slow drip of the faucet and my own heartbeat loud in the quiet. I left the lights on again that night, sat in the living room until my eyes burned, listened to the building breathe around me, and somewhere behind the plaster, something listened back. By the second month, it had stopped being random. It anticipated not just words I'd spoken aloud about, but steps I was about to take. I'd come through the door, still carrying the weight of the day. And before I even reached the kitchen, the wall would murmur, soft, almost gentle. You're going to make coffee now. Black, no sugar, like every evening. I hadn't said it, hadn't even let the thought fully form in my mind. But the voice knew the pattern better than I did. I paused in the hallway, hand still on my keys. The apartment felt smaller suddenly, the ceiling lower, the walls closer. I walked to the kitchen anyway, opened the cabinet, pulled down the tin, measured the grounds with the same small spoon I always used. The coffee maker hissed and gurgled, filling the silence. I stood there watching the dark liquid drip, drop by drop, into the pot. The wall sighed, a small contented sound. Good choice. You always choose the same. It didn't sound mocking. It sounded approving, like a parent watching a child finally do the right thing. I carried the mug to the table, sat down, stared at the wall opposite me. The plaster was cracked in one corner, a thin line running upward like a vein. I wondered if the voice lived behind that crack, if it watched me through it. I sipped the coffee. It tasted the same as always. Bitter, warm, familiar. The voice stayed quiet while I drank, but I could feel it there, patient, waiting for the next predictable move. I decided to test it properly. The next evening I came home and did everything differently on purpose. No coat on the hook. Left my shoes in the middle of the floor. Skipped the kitchen entirely. Went straight to the bedroom. Turned on the lamp. Sat on the edge of the bed. Stared at my phone without unlocking it. Minutes passed. The building creaked once, twice, settling into night. Rain tapped the window like fingers testing the glass. Then, from the wall behind the headboard, low, disappointed. You skipped it tonight. No coffee, no routine, that's new. A pause, longer than usual, then softer, almost coaxing. But tomorrow you'll remember. You always come back to what's comfortable. I turned off the lamp, lay back fully clothed, pulled the blanket over my head, tried to breathe quietly so it wouldn't hear. But it did. After a while, it whispered again. Your breathing is faster when you're afraid, slower when you pretend to sleep. Right now, it's somewhere in between. I squeezed my eyes shut, tried to think of nothing. The voice waited, then added, Good night. We'll try again tomorrow. I didn't sleep. I listened to the rain instead, counting drops waiting for morning. The tests continued. One night I ordered takeout instead of cooking. Left the bag unopened on the counter. Went to bed early. The voice spoke before I even turned off the light. Chinese tonight. Sesame chicken. Extra sauce. You'll eat half. Leave the rest for breakfast. You always do. I hadn't opened the bag yet. Hadn't decided what I'd eat. But it was right. I ate half. Left the rest. The next morning, when I reheated it, the wall murmured. See? Comfortable again. I stopped testing for a week. Went back to the routine. Coffee black. Shoes by the door. Coat on the hook. The voice grew quieter. Satisfied. It only spoke when I deviated. A gentle reminder, a small nudge. Like it was training me to stay predictable. Like predictability was safety. One evening I sat at the kitchen table, longer than usual. Stared at the wall. Tried to think unpredictable thoughts. Random numbers. Old memories I hadn't visited in years. A song lyric stuck in my head. The voice stayed silent for almost an hour. Then, quietly, "You're trying to hide inside your own head now. That won't work for long. I know the shape of your thoughts, the rhythm of them. They circle back. Always circle back." I stood up, walked to the wall, pressed both palms against it, felt the faint warmth, as if something on the other side was pressing back. I whispered, barely a breath, "How do you know me so well?" No answer at first. Then, my own voice, clear, intimate, "Because I've been listening longer than you have, every night, every quiet moment. I learned you, piece by piece, until there was nothing left to guess." I pulled my hands away. The plaster felt colder now. I went to bed without turning off the kitchen light. The voice didn't speak again that night, but I dreamed of walls breathing. Slow, even, matching my own. And when I woke, the coffee was already measured out on the counter. Waiting. Month 5 arrived like fog rolling in under the door. I no longer trusted the apartment to stay separate from me. The walls had stopped feeling like boundaries. They felt like skin, thin, warm, aware. I tried to escape the bedroom first. Moved everything to the couch in the living room. Pillows, blanket, a small lamp I kept on low all night. I bought earplugs from the drugstore on the corner. The foam kind that promised total silence. I downloaded a white noise app, set it to rain, turned the volume high enough to drown out thoughts, lay down on the narrow cushions, body curled tight, tried to convince myself the bedroom was just another room now. Empty, irrelevant. The first night, nothing. Only the artificial rain looping through my phone speaker. I almost smiled. Almost believed I'd won. Then, around 3 in the morning, when the app had looped the same thunder rumble for the 10th time, I felt it. A faint pressure behind the couch cushion. Warm, like someone breathing against the fabric from the other side. The voice came softer than before, closer, intimate, right at my ear. You're hiding tonight, moving to the couch. Clever, but I can still feel your pulse through the springs. Fast, afraid, trying to slow it down. Slowing now. Slowing. It matched my breathing perfectly. In. Pause. Out. Pause. I held my breath on purpose. Held it until my chest burned. The voice waited. Patient. Then exhaled a small laugh. My laugh. Quiet. Understanding. You can hold it, but not forever. I know how long your lungs can wait before they beg. I let the air out in a rush. Pulled the blanket over my head. The voice followed. Through the fabric, through the foam earplugs, through the rain sounds. Your heartbeat is louder when you're under the blanket. It echoes in the space between your ribs. I like that sound. It's honest. The next night I tried harder. I slept in the bathtub. Filled it halfway with lukewarm water, added bubbles to muffle sound, lay back with my head on a rolled towel. The water lapped gently against the porcelain. I closed my eyes, listened to the drip from the faucet, told myself water conducts nothing, walls can't reach here. But after an hour, maybe 2, the voice rose from the tile behind my head. Not through the wall this time, through the porcelain, vibrating up through the water into my skull. You think water will protect you, but water carries sound better than air. Every ripple, every heartbeat travels straight to me. I sat up fast. Water sloshed over the edge. The bathroom light flickered once, though the bulb was new. I stared at the wall tiles. One grout line looked darker than the others, like it had been touched recently. I pressed my palm to it. Cold, wet, but underneath, faint warmth, like something had been resting there, waiting for me to touch back. The voice sighed, content. You're getting warmer, closer to understanding. I drained the tub, toweled off, shaking, slept on the floor that night, curled in the hallway. as far from walls as the small apartment allowed. The hallway had no walls close enough, or so I thought. Around dawn, when gray light slipped under the front door, the voice whispered from the baseboard, "You're running out of places to hide. The floorboards know your weight. They remember every step you've taken since you moved in." I stopped sleeping much after that, napped in short bursts during the day, lights on, TV volume high. At night I paced, walked circles in the living room, avoiding touching walls. The voice paced with me, soft footsteps echoing mine on the other side of the plaster. When I stopped, it stopped. When I sat, it sighed. When I whispered curses under my breath, it whispered them back, word for word. A fraction of a second later, one night I couldn't take the silence anymore. I pressed my forehead to the living room wall, right where the crack ran upward. Felt the plaster cool against my skin. Whispered, hoarse, exhausted, "What do you want from me?" Silence stretched long enough that I thought it had left. Then, my own voice, clearer than ever, intimate, almost tender, coming from inside the wall, inches from my ear. "I want what you've always wanted. To never be alone again. To be heard, even when no one else is listening. To be seen, even in the dark." I felt something shift behind the plaster. Not sound, movement like a hand pressing back, matching my forehead, palm to forehead, through layers of lath and gypsum. I jerked away, stumbled backward, tripped over my own shoes, hit the floor hard. The voice laughed again, soft, forgiving. "Careful, you bruise easily. I've watched you do it before." I curled on the rug, pulled my knees to my chest, listened as it hummed, low, tuneless, the same small hum I make when I'm anxious and alone. It hummed until my breathing slowed, until my eyelids grew heavy, until the rain outside matched the rhythm, and somewhere, behind every wall, it kept humming, patient, endless, waiting for me to hum along. By month 6, the fight had gone out of me like air from a slow leak. I no longer paced at night, no longer tested the voice with changed routines, no longer slept in strange places trying to outrun it. I came home, hung the coat, made the coffee, sat at the table, and waited. The voice no longer needed to predict. It simply joined me. When I lifted the mug to my lips, it murmured, "First sip always tastes bitterest, then warmer, then familiar. I nodded once, small, almost without thinking. It was right. I drank slowly, let the heat spread through my chest. The wall opposite me stayed quiet for a while, content to let the moment stretch. Rain tapped the window in soft, irregular patterns. Somewhere in the building, a door closed far away. Muffled. Final. I set the mug down, looked at the crack in the plaster. It seemed wider now. Or maybe my eyes were just tired. The voice spoke again, low, almost affectionate. You're not afraid tonight. Your breathing is even. Your shoulders are lower. You're settling in. I didn't answer. Didn't need to. It already knew. It began to fill the silences I used to dread. When I scrolled through my phone, staring at messages I never sent, it listed them quietly. You opened that thread 3 times today. Read her last reply, closed it again. You'll do it twice more before bed. I didn't deny it. I just kept scrolling. And loneliness pressed in hard. When the apartment felt too big and too empty, the voice softened. It's okay to feel small. Everyone does sometimes. But you're not alone. I've counted every breath you've taken since the first night. I know the exact second your eyes close each evening. I know the exact second they open in the morning. Its tone was gentle, almost protective, like it had decided I needed looking after, like it had taken the job seriously. One night I sat on the floor with my back to the wall, legs stretched out, hands resting on my knees. I pressed the back of my head against the plaster, felt the faint vibration of something moving behind it. Not pipes, not settling beams. Something deliberate, something matching my posture. I closed my eyes, whispered, not angry, just curious now. Are you ever tired of listening? A long pause. Rain filled it. Then, my voice, clearer, warmer, right against my ear through the wall. No. Listening to you is the only thing that feels real. The rest of the world is noise. Your signal, clear, steady, I could listen forever. I felt the plaster shift again, subtle, like a slow exhale against my scalp. I didn't pull away this time. I stayed there. Let it happen. The voice hummed. The same small, anxious hum I used to make alone. Now it made it for both of us. I found myself humming along, soft, barely audible. Our notes overlapped, blended, became one sound. When I stopped, it kept going for a few seconds longer, then faded. Grateful, The routines became shared. I woke at 7:03 exactly, made coffee black, no sugar. The voice greeted me before the machine finished brewing. Good morning. You slept 5 hours and 42 minutes. Your heart rate dipped lowest at 317. You dreamed of open doors, but none led outside. I nodded, sipped. It was accurate, always accurate. When I left for work, it whispered at the door. The hallway is longer today, but you'll make it to the stairs. I'll be here when you return. And it was, every evening, waiting, patient, unchanging. Some nights now, I lie in bed with the lights off, stare at the ceiling, feel the mattress press up against my back, feel the wall behind the headboard breathe in time with me. I whisper questions into the dark. What will tomorrow be like? It answers without hesitation. Same as today. Coffee, work, phone, bed, rain if the forecast holds. I ask, will it ever change? A small pause, then gentle, certain. Only if you want it to, but you don't? Not really. You like the knowing. You like not being surprised. I don't argue. I turn onto my side, pull the blanket higher. Let my breathing slow. The voice slows with it. In, pause, out, pause, perfect sync. I feel something settle behind my ribs. Not fear anymore, just presence. Warm, familiar. I close my eyes. The voice whispers one last thing before silence takes over. Sleep now. I'll keep watch. I always do. And in the quiet, with rain falling outside, I realize I'm no longer sure where my thoughts end and its begin. The line has blurred, softened, dissolved. And somehow, that feels like peace. The night stretches long, patient. Rain falls steady outside. Tapping, tapping, like it has all the time in the world. Breathe slow. In, hold, out, longer. Let the sound fill you. Let it carry what's left of the day away. The voice will wait. It always does. Behind the plaster, behind your thoughts, behind the quiet you try to keep. It knows you're breathing better than you do now. It knows when your eyelids grow heavy. It knows the exact moment you slip under. Sleep now, friends, or rest. The walls are listening, but so are you, and that's enough. Much love and dark dreams. Sleep now. The voice is patient. Sleep now. It's here. Sleep now.